What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. And man, it's been an interesting day. First, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Xbot448 for having me on his live reaction panel. Dude, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can do something like that again in the future. Again, thanks for having me. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed my little intro. I know you guys really look forward to the intros to my videos. I know it only seems like a minute, but that fucking thing took me like 2 hours to animate because I had to basically animate each thing frame by frame to try to match motion. So yeah, it was a pain in the ass. It took me like 2 hours. It's only a minute long. Was it worth the 2 hours? I don't know, but I think it looks cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, let's get into why we're here. PlayStation had their PS5 event today, and it was one that I had to take some time and let my thoughts kind of sink in. This event was very different than the Xbox third-party event, in that we didn't really have any expectations going in other than they were going to be games shown. That's all we really knew. As far as to what games were going to be there, it was all rumors and speculation. For the most part, I think most of the games we were expecting to see there did show up. Some people were hoping were going to be there didn't show up. One that didn't show up that I was surprised wasn't there was Silent Hill. All this talk about Silent Hill, and Silent Hill wasn't there. By the way, I apologize if I seem a little scatterbrained. There's just so many different things to talk about or discuss. I want to save the design of the PlayStation 5 and my thoughts on that for the end. For now, I just want to talk about the games. Now, there were several games that were shown that were like cartoony games that I really didn't care about. But for me, like everyone's, desires were different. My desire going into this event was, this is a next generation console. You're revealing games for the next generation. I want to see next generation games. Like in my last video, I want that next gen shit. And we did get that next gen shit. But we also got a lot of stuff that was current gen shit. And even one game that was like last gen shit. So there were a few games in there that I think they could have done without, because I don't think they really did a whole lot to kind of show the graphical capabilities of next generation, or kind of show you like, hey, this is where we can take things in the next generation. So I could have done without those. I'm not even going to bother showing you those. If you want to see those, you can go and watch the stream yourself or go search them out. I'm going to show you kind of the ones that I thought were the best looking ones, the ones I think had the largest impact, at least on me. And I'm sticking mostly to ones that are first party, because there's going to be some games that are third party that are going to be on both platforms where, like, does that game really matter? No, not really. So I'm focusing more on the first party games, and honestly the first party games were the best looking games anyway. So right off the bat, for some reason I don't understand, they opened up this event with some Grand Theft Auto 5 announcement, and like, if you get a PS5, you get Grand Theft Auto 5 for free or something, and you get $1 million in GTA Online. And then you get like an enhanced version of GTA 5. And I was like, why are you showing me this? Like, I bought it for PS3. I bought it on PS4. I don't need to play it again on PS5. It was just a weird way to start the show. But that's the way they chose to start it. Right after that was something I was really surprised to see. Insomniac is making another Spider-Man game. Of course you're saying, oh, well, yeah, are you fucking retarded? No, that's not what I mean. They're making a Spider-Man game that is starring Miles Morales, and from what I think it's like a smaller experience. So, like I was saying when I did the live stream, Uncharted 4 is a full $60 full-fledged game. And then there was Uncharted Lost Legacy, which was $30. It was a smaller experience, but it still had all the quality of an Uncharted game. It was just a smaller experience at a smaller price. And if I had to guess, that's what I think this is, because the game is not Spider-Man 2. It's called Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it feels kind of like, there's no number attached to it. It wasn't Uncharted 6. That was Uncharted Lost Legacy. It was its own little thing. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting with this game here, because there's no way that Insomniac released Spider-Man in 2018 and then all of a sudden has now completely wrapped a whole second game in under 2 years. Like, there's no freaking way. smaller experience. I think that's what I think is going on here. But either way, it looked really freaking cool, so I'm hyped for that. The next game I want to talk about surprised the hell out of me. It wouldn't have surprised me if I hadn't seen Spider-Man first. Because I saw Spider-Man first, I was surprised to see Ratchet and Clank still made an appearance. And this is one of the more impressive games that we saw on display. Not in terms of how it looks graphically, even though it does graphically look really good. Because of the art style is cartoony, you can't really get that kind of realistic look. But it really demonstrates the ability to just instantly load information off the SSD, as Ratchet and Clank are instantly warping into new environments, warping into new environments, warping into new environments, and it's just boom, right through the warp hole, and you're in an entirely new environment that was not there before. And it was just a really good way to demonstrate how fast these machines can now load information. And so this was one that was really impressive in terms of that. The next game was one that was heavily rumored and was almost a guarantee to be there, and sure shit, there it was. It was the Demon's Souls remake by Bluepoint, and man, does this thing look fucking sweet. It looks amazing. It really, really does. I never really got into the Souls games. I didn't even know the Souls games existed until Bloodborne, and I started playing Bloodborne. That's my first kind of introduction into the Souls games. And then I didn't really get that too into Bloodborne, but Sekiro I really got into. So I'm interested to go back and see how good is Demon's Souls. Is it as good as everyone says it is? I don't know gameplay wise if it's going to hold up, but I mean graphically, 100% it is a graphically impressive game. And it looks like something that I would, when I see it, I go, oh, that looks like it's next gen, or oh, that looks like it's running on a high-end PC. Like, it looks like it's something that is next gen, which is something I wanted from this event. So I'm glad that we got it here. Again, it's a lot of these first-party titles that are showcasing that, but yeah, this is one that's definitely for sure a looker. The next game was another one that was rumored to show up, and it's Resident Evil 8 Villages. This one's pretty cool. It really gives me a lot of vibes of Resident Evil 4. It's clear that it's going to be in the first-person perspective, a la Resident Evil 7, so they're going back to the first-person perspective. But the way everything looks, like the way all the buildings look and the colors, it really reminds me of Resident Evil 4, which is not a bad thing at all. So Resident Evil 4, next gen with first-person controls, sign me the fuck up, because that sounds dope. Graphically, looks alright. This isn't one that's going to be like crazy insane, but it does look good, and it is one that I am definitely excited to play. Alright, this one for me is the best game of the show, which is clearly why they closed the show out with it, and it is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. It is now Horizon Forbidden West. There might have been a 2 in there. In the logo, it kind of looked like small in between the words Horizon and Forbidden West. There was 2 little dashes, so it might be Horizon 2 Forbidden West, or it might just be Horizon Forbidden West. I'm not sure. Either way, it looks fucking amazing. It looks insanely good. Like, the Decima engine is doing work in this game. It's insane how different it looks going from this to what we have right now. There is a huge leap in the amount of detail on just like the vegetation and stuff, the amount of leaves that are on everything. There's so many more individual leaves on everything. The environments are just way more expansive, and even though the first one was an open world, it didn't feel as big. Like, everything here just feels bigger. Aloy is able to go underwater now and swim. There's underwater structures. Like, they're going freaking bananas with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I'm sorry, Horizon Forbidden. Fuck it, I'm gonna call it Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I don't give a shit what they called it. That's Horizon Zero Dawn 2. God damn it. Just like the DualSense of the DualShock 5. Fucking DualShock 5. God damn it. But yeah, no, this game looks amazing. I know there's some people that may say, oh, Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't their style of game. Like Xbot 448 said, Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't his speed of game. He didn't like the gameplay mechanics or the gameplay loop. Which, you know, I can understand. Not everybody is into every style of game. But nobody can deny when you look at this game that it looks fucking amazing. It looks great. It looks premium. It looks quality. It looks, like I said, it looks fantastic. And I can't wait to play it. We didn't get a release date, but it's okay. I will gladly sit and wait to whatever the hell they want to give it to us, because the first one is one of the best games of this generation, and this one looks like it is just kicking everything up to 11. So I'm really hyped for that. That was a really good game to close the show on. Now, an overall for the game shown, because I skipped a lot of games. There were a lot of games in between there that, like I said, they're not really graphically impressive games. It's kind of like, whatever. They showed NBA 2K something. Like, I don't care about that. If you care about that, hey, go check it out because it looked cool. But it's just not my thing. Like, I didn't care about those things. There was a Little Big Planet game called Sackboy Adventure or something. Again, I like Little Big Planet, but I wasn't looking for that for a PlayStation 5 event. I wanted Horizon Zero Dawn 2 style shit, you know what I'm saying? I wanted that. Something like Ratchet and Clank, where they're demonstrating something that was impossible in the technology we have today, with the immediately warping into new environments with zero loading. Like, I want to see things like that. And as far as what the games look like, I say 50-50. 50% of them were really graphically impressive, really good looking games, and the other half were like, they could have been made in this generation, if I'm being honest. But still, overall, the event, I think, was a really good event. And it was paced pretty well. The only thing that annoyed the hell out of me was after every goddamn game, they would play some, flashy animation of the freaking PlayStation icons, the cross and the square and the circle, like animating, doing some weird shit. And it would be like 10-15 seconds of that while we're just sitting there looking at the screen, and then another game. We're like, all right, cool, game. And after the game, bam, hitting us with those fucking icons again. I have another 15 seconds of staring at my screen while they remind me that it's a PlayStation video, and then another game, and then after that game, more of the animated icons. So, I mean, the show was a little over an hour. If they removed all the goddamn icon animations, it'd probably be like 45 minutes. So that annoyed me a little bit and kind of took away from the pacing of the show. But overall, it was a good show. And if I'm being honest, this show actually benefited from not being hyped and advertised the way that Xbox's show was. Because all things being said, the Xbox event was not terrible. The problem was it was advertised as a gameplay reveal event that had no gameplay. Strike one. Strike two. Nothing was running on Xbox Series X. Everything was running on similar spec PCs, which is why every game video had the disclaimer at the bottom that said gaming console in development, footage representative of expected Xbox Series X gameplay. Strike two. Majority of the games looked current generation, and that was strike three, I think, for most people. And that's why most people really took it out on that event, probably more than it deserved, because it really didn't deserve as much of the bashing as it got. And this event, even taking all that out, this event was better than that event, 100%. But it also benefits from not having that additional expectation put on top of it. We didn't know what to expect, So by not having that additional expectation on it, we're less likely to be disappointed. I'm sure people were probably expecting more big games that we didn't get, but at least it wasn't something like, oh, we didn't get the gameplay reveals we were promised, or oh, we didn't see anything running on PlayStation 5. Because actually, before it started, it said from this point on, everything you see was captured on PlayStation 5. So we know that everything we saw was running on PlayStation 5. And there were some games in there, like I said, that were very graphically impressive. So it was a better event altogether, but then it also benefited from not having that additional pressure that the Xbox third-party event had. And now let's talk about the big announcement. All the rumors and speculation going into the event of the will they, won't they, of showing the console. Well, they fucking did. And it is not anything that we would have expected. It is not anything that I imagined. It is not anything close to any of the renders that I've seen, like the renders that fans did, fan renders. Not even close. It is, I don't know. Like I said in the live stream, I don't know how to feel about it. It's because the design is so strange. Like, I don't know if I like it yet or not. I will say this, though. it looks futuristic. It looks like it is something new. It looks like when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's something that's probably high performance. Like, you know how supercars and there's a lot of exotic cars that just have crazy lines and shapes, and they may not be the the nicest looking car, but like when they're standing still, you're like, oh yeah, that fucking car right there, that's a fast car. I can tell that's a fast car because it looks like a fast car. You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation 5 looks like a fast car. It is, the design is fucking crazy. It looks like something that space aliens came down and bestowed upon us human beings and said, here you go, you're gonna have this. Something else unexpected. 2 versions. They're gonna give us a version with a disk drive and a version without the disk drive. If I'm being honest, the version with the disk drive looks like it has a little tumor on the side. It's got a little disk drive tumor. So I'm not really feeling that one. I think the one that is the all digital one has a much better look to it. But overall, there's no mistaking that these are next generation consoles. And like I said, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think that it will grow on me. Just like with the DualSense. When I first saw the DualSense, because of the two-tone, I was like, oh, like what the fuck is this thing? This two-tone piece of shit. I'm like, where's my solid black DualShock? And as time passed on, now I'm like, you know what? That's a sexy ass controller right there. That DualSense is sexy as fuck. It has grown on me, and my attitude towards it has changed. I think the same will be true of the console. I think that my attitude towards whether or not I like it or not will change, because I don't dislike it. I just don't love it. I think it's because it is so strange. But like I said, there is no mistaking that for something that is high performance, because it looks like a high performance machine. Like I said, it looks like one of those cars where you're like, that car right there, I can tell that's a fast car. And that's the way the PlayStation 5 looks. They also announced like a bunch of additional accessories for it. You got a media remote, a new camera, which I presume will probably be used for VR. It's got 2 camera lenses on it. So it's probably actually going to be using 3D as well, because that's usually what they have 2 cameras on things for, is for 3D. And then headphones, which I'm assuming this is really going to take advantage of the 3D Audio Tempest engine in the PS5. Overall, I mean, it all looks slick. Like there's a charging cradle for the DualSenses. There's just like this suite of, here's all these badass accessories you can get for your PlayStation 5 to like complete your whole like PlayStation 5 collection, and they all look, you know, slick and nice. And that's pretty much it. I mean, overall impressions of the show, it was a solid show. It wasn't like, oh my god, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It also wasn't like, dude, what the fuck was that? I just wasted an hour of my life, you know? It was a solid, good event, and I walked away from it feeling good. Like there were games there that I was interested in, even the ones that were not so graphically impressive. There were a few in there that I was like, that game actually looks pretty cool. There was one in particular that, even though it had a more cartoonish art style, it actually looked like it could be like a DreamWorks animation movie. Like it looked like you were watching How to Train Your Dragon, but it was a video game. Like it's crazy. Like it looked really cool. It didn't really do much to show, oh, here's the badass graphics of the PS5, you know? But there were a couple games like that still really did interest me. So I walked away saying, that looked cool, I'm interested in that. There were badass games like Spider-Man Miles Morales, I'm all about that. Demon's Souls, I'm definitely going to give that a look. Resident Evil 8, fuck yes. You know, and Horizon Forbidden West, like that game looks so fucking good. I just waiting for whenever it's going to come out is going to kill me. And then the PS5 reveal, which I thought was not going to happen. So seeing it, I was like, holy shit, they're actually going to show it to us. And then when they showed it to us, I didn't know what to feel. But like I said, I mean, it looks like a race car. Like it looks like it's moving 100 miles an hour, standing still type of deal. You know, it looks like it's high performance, which is cool. And you can definitely tell there's a shit ton of ventilation on this machine, so it's definitely not going to have issues ventilating. Um, and you know, you're gonna see memes all over the place making fun of how it looks. That just happens. It could have been the sexiest console in the history of the world, and you're gonna have memes making fun of how it looks. It didn't matter, no matter what it looked like. They were gonna make fun of it, just like they made fun of the Series X, saying it looked like a fridge. There's nothing wrong with the way the Series X looks. The Series X is a nice looking console. I actually like the design of the Series X. The only thing is, it is very bland. It's very boring and simple, but it's not a bad design. Like it looks kind of cool, but like I said, it's basically just a cube, so it is kind of boring. Whereas this is like the opposite end of the spectrum. This is like fucking insane, crazy, and I don't know if that's if that's better or not yet. I'll have to sit on it, sleep on it, see how I feel. But yeah, you're gonna see memes all over the place making fun of it. You're gonna have haters talking all kinds of shit, but they're gonna talk shit no matter what it looked like. God could have come down from heaven and proclaimed to the world that the PS5 was the greatest looking console in the history of the world. Then he could have whipped out his dick and said, "Here, I have a PlayStation tattoo on my dick because PlayStation is the best." And you would still have people saying PlayStation sucks and that console is ugly. So that's the way the game is played. You have haters on both sides, and they're going to hate anything that the other side has to show. And it's unfortunate that we have people like that in this world, but that's the way it is. But as far as what I feel, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Like I said, it's interesting. And I think I'm going to leave it at that because now I'm starting to ramble, and this video is going to be 40 minutes of me saying 1,000 times as I try to collect my thoughts. So with that, I will end the video. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Do you like the way the console looks? Are there games you're excited for, games you weren't excited for, overall impressions of the event? Let me know. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next Supernova.